Hello friends, wizards, witches and muggles. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So today I thought I would do another Harry Potter DIY. We haven't done one of these for quite a while and I have had this idea sitting under my belt for quite a while. So if you hadn't have already guessed, I'm going to be showing you how to make my take on the Hogwarts House Points counter. Now if for some magical reason you do not know what I'm talking about, within the Great Hall there are these big majestic counters which hold all of the house points for each house, and you get given house points if you're good and you achieve things or win Quidditch matches, and you get house points taken away if you misbehave and so on. What's really cool about this DIY is you can make it so that your house is in the lead, because if you are in the lead, your house will be winning the house cup at the end of the year, which is really exciting. So I'm going to tell you everything that you're going to need for this DIY. If you're brand new to my channel, hello, welcome. Don't forget you can click the subscribe button if you would like to become part of our weird magical online family. But without further ado, let's get on with it because I cannot wait to make this. Okay, so first things first, what are we going to need for this DIY? Now the first thing is actually what gave me the idea to do this DIY to begin with. I was in IKEA and I found this box of 4 of these glass tubes, and they have little wooden stoppers in them. Now these are meant for like herbs and salts and that kind of thing in your kitchen. They're meant to go in like a little stand, but I didn't want them for that, so we're going to be using them this way round because they do stand up on their own, which is perfect. So they're fairly inexpensive. I will try and leave the link down below for you guys, but yes, so anything like this, glass tubes that can be freestanding, is what you're going to need. Now we're going to need something to represent the house points within the tubes, and for those I selected these beads. So these are called Capri beads. They're very, very cheap and easy to get hold of, especially on places like eBay, which is where I got mine. So I've got some red ones to represent Gryffindor, yellow ones for Hufflepuff, I've got blue ones for Ravenclaw and green ones for Slytherin. Bear in mind when you buy these, make sure that you get some more for certain houses. So if you want, for example, Gryffindor to be in the lead, make sure you get more red ones than you do blue, green and yellow. So I've got different amounts of each house, and those are our house points. I then printed out each crest for each Hogwarts house. I did some medium-sized ones and some smaller ones because I wasn't sure which size that I wanted to use. I personally think that I'm going to go for the smaller ones. I found these images on Google. They're really easy to find and really easy just to print out at home. I've also got some metallic paints to add a little bit more magic. Now the shade is entirely up to you. I think I'm personally going to go for gold, but you could use silver if you wanted to. For adhesive, I'm going to be using Mod Podge. You could use PVA or a Pritt stick. It's entirely up to you, depends what you have, but I think a liquid glue will work best. You'll need some scissors to cut out the Hogwarts crests and some paintbrushes, which I guess you could use as a magic wand whilst you're doing it if you really wanted to. Now that I've got everything that I'm going to need for this DIY, I guess it's time to get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take all of the glass tubes out of their box because we don't need no box. So I've got all 4 tubes here in front of me. Now they do have little stickers on, so I'm just going to try and peel those off as neatly as possible. They look like they're fairly easy to peel, which they are, which is wonderful. So I'm just going to take all 4 of those off. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is paint the bases because they're a wooden colour. They don't feel very magical. So I'm just going to take the lids off all 4 of the glass tubes because that's what we're going to be painting first. And as I said before, the colour that you paint them is entirely up to you. You can do gold, silver, you could even paint them the colour of each Hogwarts house, but personally I think that I want to go for gold, so that's the colour that I'm going to be using today. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint them all gold. Now, if you're impatient like I am and don't want to wait for them to dry, you can just place them onto a little tray or a plate and just run the hairdryer over them for about a minute, which is what I just did. So these are now able to be picked up and I don't get paint on my hands, which is absolutely great. Now for the fun part, which is putting the house points into the tubes and then putting their stoppers on. So I think I'm going to start off with Hufflepuff actually. So I'm going to put all of my Hufflepuff beads into one of the glass jars, and then I'm just going to put the lid onto it, and there we have it. We have got all of Hufflepuff's house points right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that with the rest of the houses. Now, of course, I saved, in my opinion, the best till last, Gryffindor, but of course I am biased, as you would be towards your own house. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and fill the last tube with my coloured house points. As you can see, all of my tubes are now filled to how I want them to be. Now, of course, you can make it so that your house is in the lead. Gryffindor is in the lead for me because I'm a Gryffindor, Gryffindor pride. But yes, we've got Slytherin and Ravenclaw in just about a tie, though I think Ravenclaw's taken the lead a little bit here, and then we've got Hufflepuff, which are falling behind a little bit in this year's house points, but hey, never mind. So moving on, I'm then going to be applying some of these house crests to the tubes. Now, again, the size is completely up to you. I'm going to go for the smaller ones, and we're just going to be sticking them on the front of each house. So let's get cutting them out. Now, once you've done the very fiddly job of perfectly cutting out all 4 of your Hogwarts crests, we are then going to do the next job, which is to apply these to the glass tubes so that we can see which house is which. Now, the positioning is entirely your choice. You could put it at the top, in the middle, or even at the bottom. Now, I think for positioning, I like mine to be at the bottom. I don't know why. I just like it there. So I'm going to get my glue and a little brush, and I'm then just going to simply position it where I want it and make sure it's straight and glue it on. My glue has glued itself shut. Oh, I am Superwoman. Did you see that? I've got so much strength. Okay, so now that we've got the glue open, so I'm just going to put the tiniest bit onto a brush. Now, make sure that you're using a brush that you do not care about, because glue does not wash out of bristles very well. So I'm then simply going to brush the back of my crest, making sure that I get in all of the corners and the edges, but making sure that I don't leave too much glue on there because I don't want it to leak out when we press it on. Now, I'm then going to very carefully position where I want it to be. So once you've glued on all 4 of the Hogwarts house crests in the position that you are happy with, then we have come to the end of this DIY. That is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'm really happy with the outcome. I just think the glass tubes are so cool. It's something that would be on Dumbledore's desk. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my other DIYs that I've done. And if you have any suggestions for other things that you would like to see me make, then do leave them in a comment below, along with your Hogwarts house. What house would be in the lead if you made this DIY? Be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Bye!